But the power of optimized nutrition exceeds anything I ever thought was possible, dreamed was possible, or taught others.
In August 1985, which is 20 years ago, a businessman and his recently hired director of research, pharmacologist Bill McAnally, came to my office at Dallas-Fort Worth Medical Center and told me a story attempting to get me involved in doing some research for them. They told me that 8 patients with AIDS spread across the United States had contacted their little company that no longer exists. It was called AvaCare. And they had primarily a line of products for the skin, lotions, potions, creams, and salves using aloe vera, which has been noted for the skin for centuries. They made a product that was a beverage. Think of it much like grapefruit juice, though it'll never compete with dry grapefruit juice. And these individuals contacted them over 1984-85 and basically said, I was incapacitated, all the problems of AIDS in detail. I drank your juice, and now I'm back at work and in school, thought you'd want to know. Well, when they told me that, I sat across the desk, much like I am with you here, kept a straight face, but internally my response was, get serious.
Yeah.
Drinking aloe juice for AIDS. What kind of a fool do you think I am? And I sent them away and repeated.
So I called them up and said, give me the names of those people who have contacted you and their telephone number. I'll call them for you. And as you see on the screen, I found out that they took about 18 ounces of their aloe beverage a day. In about 2 to 4 weeks, their symptoms began to improve. By 90 days, there was no question they were improved, and they began to do more things, go back to work and school. Their fever, their fatigue, infections, and enlarged lymph nodes improved. I was asked to do a pilot study, and with FDA exemption, we did a pilot study in 14 AIDS patients and followed them by the Walter Reed classification of AIDS. We found out that by adding this to the diet of these 14 AIDS patients, that in 90 days, their score, and it's kind of like a golf score, about what's wrong, went from 5.6 average of these 14 to 1.8, and there was a 71% improvement. Statistics on this were about 1 chance in 100 if just due to chance and not the intervention. We presented this to multiple medical meetings, scientific meetings, Europe and the United States, and no one paid any attention. You see this little hook that goes right up there, it says lysosome. This is what started this whole story. You remember it was 8 AIDS patients saying they got better? You might have wondered why. You're looking at it. The lysosome is inside all our white cells. And it's kind of a demolition kit, if you will, inside the cell, because when a white cell wanders around and comes up to bacteria or virus or protozoans, it flows around it and brings it inside it, kind of like a shmoo or silly putty. Takes it inside of it. But it's still alive. In the lysosome, you have enzymes, just like scissors we've talked about before, that are like hydrolases that start chopping up the carbohydrate structure of the infectious agent. And lipases that chop up the fatty structure of the structure. And then proteases that chop up any amino acid chains. And if it's virus, endonucleases that chop that up to destroy the virus. Where are these enzymes made? They're made on this assembly line. And when you've got it there, that's why the AIDS patients, and as we went back years later, every one of them had hepatitis C, and why their liver enzymes came down is we were improving the supply of parts or nutrients.